this tune was written when I was in college, when really Disney was coming back um, after a period of not really putting out such uh, really great stuff. But since like 1990, I think with The Little Mermaid, Howard Ashman and Alan Menken really were prolific in coming up with some great music. And Arabian Nights is one of those simple tunes that has its own brilliance to it. So let's get into it and see what we can cover. I'm looking at the Hal Leonard Disney Greats for Alto book, and for Arabian Nights or whatever version you're looking at, I see a lot of triplets, like quarter note triplets and some eighth notes. And the way it's written out and connected, I realized that, and I talk about this from time to time in my other videos, is that these things can become stumbling blocks for you to really get out an effective performance. I know getting the notes right and stuff, yeah, that's very important, but I think it's also important to keep in mind that equally important, or if possibly more important, are other things for purposes of really nailing the tune, and that would be the feel. And so it's not helpful that they put moderately bright, okay? I mean, you could play this any way you want. And I think a good way to start any tune, even if it's, regardless of what level you're at, regardless of what kind of tune it is to sing it. And here we have an introduction by the strings. And, you know, you can certainly play that as well. It's a little more advanced kind of thing. But for the main song, you see it's like eighth notes. And if you use a metronome, which I highly recommend, just to get yourself adjusted and conditioned to the constant perfect tempo of whatever tempo you're using, you can play in tempo as written, as here. 1, 2, 3, da 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 da, right? It's, you know, it's pretty good. I'm reading it, right? I'm reading it in time, but to breathe life into this song, and I think any song for that matter, even though this is not a jazz piece, it's brilliantly written, excuse me, by Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, because I remember these guys started writing great Disney tunes starting, I think, like in the 90s. And so simple the song is. I can go on about, you know, the theory behind it. I mean, it's just, you know, really a variation on a minor melodic line, and it's beautifully done, and it leaves a lot of room for you to put your own beauty into it. So what I'm suggesting here is looking at every note, whether it's a quarter note or an eighth note, play it differently so it sounds like. So it sounds a little bit different there. I mean, I like it better that way because I can express myself more. There's more room for the unexpected. And this is how my teacher, Arnie Lawrence, he was a giant, okay? He was the real deal. You can look him up on YouTube, okay? I was really blessed to have direct teaching from him, and he taught me in a group. Actually, first met him when I was in a big band in high school for, I guess, doing well on the state testing for music. I got into this band, and he was the director, and he tried to explain swing to us, and he really did it well, and always stayed with me and resonated with me, which is, if you look at every beat, whether it is a quarter note or an eighth note, think of it as in 3 sections or 3 parts, okay? 3 parts of one beat, okay? So it would be the beginning part, dead center, and slightly almost like ahead of the beat or behind the beat. Either way, I don't know, whichever orientation you have, okay? You have dead center, slightly ahead of the beat, and slightly before the beat, but you're still on the beat, okay? So it changed everything for me knowing that that's how I could actually conceptualize beats when playing music, especially jazz, because I wanted to always play swing, the jazz standards. I was playing big band stuff, and then I got into combo stuff. And regardless of the kind of music, that swing really has a lot of value, okay? And when you play a song like Arabian Nights, thinking that now you have all this room to work with, it really opens up a lot of room instead of thinking you got to be so precise. So I think the notes, the way they're written now, are stumbling blocks, and especially for something really easy like this. And I think over time you could just memorize it, so you're not looking at the notes anymore, and you're just playing by ear. So, yeah, and the more comfortable you get with it, I mean, yeah, you could really just knock this one out of the ballpark, uh, just with the emotions you could put into it, and not getting all kind of overwhelmed by looking at the notes, trying to make sure you're getting it on time, and making sure, get the right notes, make sure the sound you can produce is good from the diaphragm. Okay, those are very important. Understanding the key you're in, of course, it's extremely important. And if you got those things, then the rest is sort of like you got freedom. I mean, don't be a slave to the printed note when it comes to popular music and jazz and any other form of music, I guess, but classical. So I think outside of the box and give it a try. Okay, if you like this video, please hit the like button, and please comment below if there's anything you'd like to share with me or ask me, and please subscribe if you haven't. I hope to see you at the next one.